Heal the world, make this a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying, but if you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. Hello, everybody. I'm Lady Cheryl, and today is Tuesday's Fruit, and I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel. The fruit that I'm going to feature this week is my Miho Satsumas. I've had this tree for 2 years, and it's now bearing fruit. A few weeks ago, I showed you the blooms. I'm going in closer so you can see that it's a lot of fruit on this tree. It is so exciting to grow a little baby tree and see it mature and see it flower for the first time and then put it on fruit. It's a wonderful, wonderful feeling. So we're going to get some fruit off of this tree that I've been dragging in and out of the greenhouse during the different seasons to protect it. As this tree gets older, I won't have to drag it in and out the greenhouse because it can withstand low temperatures. That is the reason why I purchased it. And actually, right where it sits right now in this big pot is where it's going to go in the ground. You see underneath there, I have been adding compost, fresh compost, up until all winter long, up until I moved it out, in this tree out of the greenhouse during the spring of the year. So it is a lot of compost up under it that's going to nourish this tree. And some of the fruit, as you can see here, is turning yellow and falling off. But that's okay because we still have plenty fruit on the tree, and I haven't even gone around to the back of it or the side of it, but there's plenty of fruit here. Let me take you back here, and I measured this space. It is 2.5 feet from my privacy fence, so it'll still allow me the opportunity to walk around this tree and harvest the fruit. The Miho Satsuma tree is one of the most cold, hardy citrus trees. In fact, a mature tree can take temperatures as low as, 10 degrees. So, after I harvest the fruit this year, during the winter, I'm going to transplant this tree in the ground. Also, I want you to know that the fruit is very thin-skinned and it doesn't have any seeds, which makes it a really good fruit for children to eat. That's another reason why I selected it for my grand angels. This tree is self-fertile, meaning that it doesn't need to cross-pollinate with any other type of mandarin or citrus tree, which makes it a really nice tree for home gardeners. There, I'm just holding a little tangerine there with a thin skin, just to give you an idea of what the fruit is going to look like. So, this week's fruit is the Miho Satsuma, being recognized on Tuesday's Fruit. Okay, guys, after watching the playback from last night's live, I noticed that you couldn't see clearly all of the books and the products that I spoke about. So I'm going to do just a real quick recap. I'm not going to go into the pros and the cons You can pick that up from the previous video, but I'm going to showcase the products up close. Now, I think you saw the Dawn dish soap. Dawn dish soap, a few drops in a bottle, spray bottle with water will kill, you know, insects that you can pick up and kill right away, like moths and Japanese beetle. But if you're trying to get rid of a more difficult insect, add some pure cold pressed neem oil to the mix. I gave you the formula in last night's video, but I'll say it real quick. You want to use a tablespoon of pure cold pressed neem oil, a gallon of water, and about a teaspoon of Dawn dish soap. And I recommend that you use some type of power trigger sprayer so that it has a lot of force and will flush those aphids off, because they like to cling on and suck to the leaves. Then I also showed you, and I may be out of sequence, mosquito bits that kills mosquitoes and their larvae. I also showed you how to make a mosquito spray for your body and your clothes using a mouthwash. I shared with you last night this Monterey BT that kills the cabbage worms and caterpillars, and you can use it on your ornamental trees or your fruit trees. I shared with you the organza bags that I use to bag my fruit. I also shared with you Serenade, which you can use to fight fungus on your fruit trees, your potatoes, your roses, anything. It's organic. And then I share with you this Repel All. Here it is in a spray and then in a pellet form. And this will not kill the animals, but it'll make their mucus, their nasal passages sting, and they'll stay away from your yard. Last night, I told you that if you were the first 6 people who logged in to my chat, that I will send you these books. I'm going to wait until the conditions about the virus clear up a little more. I'm not going out for about another 2 or 3 weeks, but I will send them to you. You know who you are. My email address is in the description box of this video. Some of you have emailed me already, and just give me your physical address. Just say, Miss C, I won, or Lady C, I won. Here's my address. And I'll send you an email confirming that. And I will also send you an email when I mail your books. Okay. There was something else I was going to say about that. Oh, it was the first 6 people that came in that will receive this book. And the first 6 people will receive this book as well, and the additional 4 people, which makes 10 for this book. I don't have too many of these black hair care books left. Now, yesterday I shared part of my library with you, and I'm not going to go into detail of each book. I'm just going to show them to you. When I was all into perennials and flowers, this is the book that I bought back then, and I still use it today. And here is The Better Homes and Garden. It's an old book. You might find it at a thrift store. It was a young lady in the chat last night mentioned a website. You can check out the video and get that information. Here is a book about the native Texas plants. I use this book a lot. Texas Organic Vegetable Gardening. Texas Fruit and Vegetable Gardening is another book I refer to. If you live in my zone 8A or in the DFW, Dallas-Fort Worth area, I recommend highly that you buy these books. Anybody can use this book right here. It's just the all new encyclopedia for organic gardening. I failed to mention that one of my gardening friends purchased this and sent this to me from Amazon. And here's another good book to purchase, Good Things to Eat in Texas. It shares with you how to grow them. Another book, if you live in the western part of the country, Wild Garden Edibles. If you want to learn how to grow food in any garden zone, I recommend that you purchase 4 Season Harvest by Elliot Coleman. And if you're into fruit trees like me, this book is awesome. Grow a Little Fruit Tree. It talks about varieties of trees that you could purchase for your area. And I purchased all of the trees that this author recommends, and they're doing wonderful. Okay, so I hope that clears up any misunderstanding. Let me just share with you that I'm still trying to recover the dialogue from the chat. YouTube hasn't uploaded that information yet, but they will, I'm told. And when they do, I'll make it available to you. But in the interim, if you have a YouTube gardening video or homesteading channel, please, please, please put yes in the comments and your growing zone, because people have emailed me about that information. They want to support you. I can't stress enough that it's enough gardeners out here for all of us to learn from each other. And I want you to know that I am a learner. I am a lifetime learner. I think it is a very stupid, ignorant, foolish person that thinks they know everything. I want to keep learning till the day I die. When I was instructing beauty college, I used to ask my students on the first day of school, I would say, if you had an opportunity to be a green apple or a red apple, and they would always say, well, what kind of tree? And I said, a red delicious apple. And they would say, raise their hand. I said, raise your hand if you want to be a green apple. Some of them raised their hand, very few. And then some of them, when I said, raise your hand if you want to be a red apple, they would raise their hand. The majority of the class would. And I would say, well, I'm going to tell you something. It's good to be a red juicy apple on a red apple tree. However, what happens to the fruit when it fully develops? And they started spitting out the answers. They said, well, if you don't pick it, it'll get overripe and it'll fall down on the ground. And I said, yes. And then the worms and the insects will devour it. So the reason why I asked you that question is because I want you to keep your mindset like this. Never think you know everything. Never think you're the bright, shiny apple on the tree. Because if you don't get picked, sooner or later, you're going to fall down and you're going to rot. But if you're the green apple on the tree, and that's what I always want to be, the green apple, that apple is on the tree. It is absorbing the rain, the sun, the wind, and it's growing and it's comprehending and it's getting bigger and it's getting stronger and it's learning more and more. So the moral of this story is stay green, learn. Never think you know everything. You are the bomb.com and you know everything. No, always continue to educate yourself. The greats in any field in life will tell you, in order to be good, they had to study their craft. I don't ever want to stop learning about gardening. Okay? Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule last night to join me in my first live. You all blessed my soul so much. And I also want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to watch all of my videos and the video that you're watching now. I know you could be doing something else, but you took the opportunity to share some of your time with me. And for that, I say thank you. And always remember that God loves you and I love you too. Thank you so much for watching. See you next week. But I'll probably see you before in some videos.